Gardening in containers can make growing your own food more accessible in smaller spaces. I also love adding seasonal color in pots and experimenting with container-grown vegetables, herbs, and perennials. Conserving resources in the garden is essential, and with a few amendments, you can revitalize and reuse old potting soil. I encourage investing in a high-quality potting soil to begin with, so ahead of your next planting season, why not revitalize it and make the most of those quality organic materials? What's up everyone, it's Scott from New Garden Road. You know I'm here to inform, inspire, and elevate you. Encouraging biodiversity and restoring habitat is my mission, one garden at a time. I've been keeping my potting soil over here in some big bins in a shaded area outside of direct sunlight. I kept it covered with this plastic tarp to keep it from getting too much saturating rains. I've already removed all the weeds. That's a really important part of the process. You know, initially I removed a lot of organic matter, but you can see there's pecan shells, whole pecans, and some other root mass in there. Some of these pots have thicker stuff. Breaking it up with a hori-hori knife or a trowel is going to be key in the process. You want to break it up so that you can work it through a sieve more easily, and I can just scoop it up, put it in my sieve. Otherwise it's kind of like one big block, and that's not quite as easy to work with. You do want to sift your potting mix because there's going to be some chunky stuff that you're not able to get out of there. It's not a huge deal, but it could create some air pockets. I like the way it looks once it's sifted. This is a big one that I made to go over my wheelbarrow. It's untreated cedar. I've just got 3 screws in each corner. I cut it, it's about 2 by 3, and I'm using hardware cloth. This is a 1/4 inch grade hardware cloth, not too big, not too small, and I simply stapled it to the wooden frame. But you can see there's options for you besides buying something. You can make your own. And you don't have to use a giant sifter either. If you've got a bucket or something like that, a small sifter like this would work really well. This one came with 3 different grades. This is the 1/4 inch, so that's what I used, but it has one that's a little bit smaller. This one, very tiny. You can see I use it a lot for sifting compost when I'm planting seeds. Once you have the potting soil all sifted, you want to go ahead and add some fresh potting soil. That's going to bring some great organic matter, some nutrients, some life. It's going to revitalize it. 1/3 is a general rule of thumb. This big wheelbarrow, I can't say that I measured things exactly, I just eyeballed it, but I feel like it's a good mix. I added a complete fertilizer. It's the Sustain brand 824. It's considered an all-purpose fertilizer. It's got more nitrogen than anything else. It's a slow release granular fertilizer, and that's going to be really good for most plants as they get started. Promotes a lot of top growth. You could go with something that helps more fruiting and flowering, such as the 464 from Sustain, if you're growing some of those types of things. There are a lot of fertilizers on the market, and some of them will combine several ingredients and they'll be labeled as all-purpose. So you can go that route, or you can mix and scratch, and that's what I like to do. This Dr. Iron is going to add a bunch of iron, and it's got some sulfur in it, so that's going to help push the pH a little bit. That works really well for us here in Central Texas. We have alkaline soil, alkaline water, alkaline air, alkaline sunshine. Dry molasses is great for stimulating microbes, microorganisms. This is a MaxiCrop kelp meal, a 102. I just like to add seaweed whenever I can. Azomite is a good source of micronutrients. This is a granulated slow release form. This humate is just a really well broken down organic material. sourced from langbeinite. Yeah, so it's not necessary that you go all in like that. You can easily pick up something complete at the store, and that would suit you just as well. You don't have to do this type of thing. But those are some options for you, and you might have fun mixing like this, because in a way, you're making a chocolate cake. I do think it's important to consider if you've had a significant pest or disease issue or even some weeds in your potting soil, you might not reuse it. However, I do want to highlight this process is very similar to amending garden soil, raised beds, in-ground plantings. Before each season, I add some compost and some fertilizer. That's kind of what we're doing here, adding organic matter and some fertilizer. In the garden, if you get some weeds or some pests, you have to deal with it. Herbicide damage is typically the only reason you would have to remove your garden soil altogether. The same would stand to reason here with potting soil. Unless you've got some herbicide damage, it's probably okay to reuse. And why not conserve your organic material? These are your resources. You paid for them. When you invest in something good up front, you should be able to reuse it. There is so much that you can grow in pots or containers. This is a variegated pink lemon. I have a lot of citrus trees growing in containers. There are also many ornamentals growing here. This is a tropical hibiscus. It's not cold hardy. So by growing it in a container, I can protect it over our winters. They're generally mild. And then I'll have this plant in my garden for many years. This year I discovered that I love growing peppers in containers. This is a variegated variety of sweet pepper called candy cane. It has made a lot of fruit. It's flowering. It looks like it's about to set up another round. It has done really well in this container. I've got another one here next to it, and here's a jalapeno. Oh yeah. So peppers in containers, don't limit yourself, get it growing. Did you know you could grow crops like sweet potatoes in containers? These are some fabric pots. They're the 10-gallon size. I've planted 6 sweet potato slips in each one of these. There's 2 of them here. How much fun is that? This is culinary ginger. It has aromatic leaves. Oh yeah, that's sweet. I'll let this grow here, and in the fall, if I want to, I can harvest some ginger rhizomes. They're growing in the soil. Very easy to grow in a container. Turmeric, similar to the ginger. I have this in some small pots. Eventually, I will add them to a larger container. I just want to get them sprouted and growing for a season. I'm in it for the long haul with these. Your imagination is the only limit when you're growing food in containers. There are tons of herbs here as well. French sorrel, bee balm, parsley, several varieties of mint. How about Guinura or longevity spinach? This variety is the Okinawan purple. Gives me some greens in the summertime, and I love it. It's really beautiful. Flip over the backside, you got a tinge of purple there. So you're not limited to growing flowers or whatever you think you're limited to in containers. The sky's the limit. Try growing some different things. It's a great way to experiment. Reuse some potting soil. That's gonna make things a little bit more cost effective for you. And if you love gardening, you're gonna enjoy the process. A plethora of premium ingredients for the most particular plant palette. Now check out more awesome gardening videos on my channel. Like this video if you like it, and follow New Garden Road for weekly content. You can grow your own food. Keep it organic.